what I wanted to talk about today, I did do a little thing here. Put this thing in. And it's an instant hot water heater. It's electric. And I want to kind of go over the thing. I'm not going to, get really in depth about installation or anything, but just kind of what I've set this up to do. When I built this house, I wanted the lowest cost energy sources, and one of them was right here, a gas water heater. Now that's a Rude. It's nothing special. The only real value to having this type of water heater was I didn't have to run a vent up to the roof. I could run it out through the wall. And that's what I did. It's not more efficient than any other or anything like that. But it was using natural gas, which was the cheapest fuel. It would still be that way if my source for electricity was not solar. But much of my electricity, in fact, probably all of it this year, is going to be solar. I have 42 panels. I haven't got all the 42 up and running yet, but right now there are 28 panels operating, and they're producing probably 200 or 300% of what I need every day. Maybe in a later video I'll talk about how the utility works with this. But I got this little heater, and it says Black & Decker, it's Intertech, but there's a whole bunch of them that are different brands and stuff. It is 18 kW. Now that's not a very big instant water heater. A proper instant water heater would probably be 36 kW. Now that's a really big draw on the power. And so this one I kind of thought, well, I'll just play with this and see how this thing works in my application. Well, it has worked okay. It actually will produce all the water, all the hot water I use for showers and light, but there's only 2 people in the house. And so, if you had a large family, it'd be a little different. You'd probably want the 36. But you're going to need, for 36, you're going to need 4 double breakers, which is going to take up a bunch in your panel. I don't know if most people don't have that much room, but anyway, that's what I did. I put in this 18 kW. It takes a couple of breakers. They're 40 amp breakers. And so it's drawing close to 80 amps when under full draw, full load. So I hooked this thing in, but I put a little trick into it. Now, you've got these 2 flex lines running to it. Well, they're coming from this water heater. This water heater is still hooked up. I took the discharge line out of the hot water line, and I ran it into the cold water of the water heater, instant water heater, and it can be set up. If I have the water heater off, it'll just take whatever the temperature of the water is. If I have the water heater on, I can set it at a lower temperature, and it can be kind of a preheater. And that's kind of given me both ends so that I would be in a situation where I wouldn't run out. In the summer where I'm at, you get about 65 degree water coming in. In the winter, it's going to be below 50. So probably when it's below 50, there will be troubles if I don't have this heater on at all. Now, if you look right here, you can see it's actually at 82 degrees. When it's set at the lowest temperature setting on the gas water heater, it heats the water up to 82 degrees, and that makes this this a preheater for this, and it'll be viable in because there's more hot water available. It's set for 120, and that's probably as high as you want to set the silly things anyway. But because I'm using this as a preheater, I have the choice that I can shut this off if I think I do not need it and just use this, which so far it's been fine. I can do it that way. And of course, it's hooked up right now with a gas water heater. And when you use something like a water heater like this as a preheater, it's only 82 degrees. And one of your bigger losses from water heaters is I've got 120 degree water in there, and the ambient around the tank is 70 degrees or 65. Well, that's not true if you're only heating it up to 82 degrees. Now, I know some of you guys are going to say, well, you're going to rust this thing out, which that is possible. It's already got 30 years on it, so I really don't care. Most of the time, I will probably have it shut off so that this will be at whatever the water temperature coming in comes to, because for the most part, I don't seem to have a problem with this thing keeping up. Certainly if I wanted to fill a bathtub or something like that where you're running maybe 5 or 6 gallons a minute, it's not going to do it. But it'll do showers and the like. One other thing I did is I put a little energy monitor on it there. It's only been on there, well, the thing's only been on for a week or something. But the energy monitor is, I think it's about 10 kW right now it's used. And so I'll have an idea of how much this uses. A little bit more about this thing. This is some sort of Pakistani, Bangladeshi, Chinese something. I'm not really sure where it was made. I don't think you're going to be able to get parts for it. If there's a failure in it, you're probably just going to throw it away. I mean, this one, I bought this for $280. It's not very much money, but I would say probably if you have a failure in it, you're not going to be able to find parts. And so they would just be throwaway products. But anyway, I'm going to run this thing for a while and see how this works out. We'll be going into the winter with it, and I'll probably have to run the water heater at least part of the winter to preheat the water. But it pretty much performs like any water heater. As soon as the water starts moving through this thing, starts coming in here and moving through, it turns on. And of course, it's pretty quick. It jumps up to the 18 kilowatts pretty quick. So we'll see how it works. Maybe I'll have a little bit more on this thing later. But that was a funky little experiment I just decided I'd give a try to. I guess that's it on this one.